What is going on, everybody? Back at it again with another YouTube video. Doing a live stream, after the Sixers game just came on. Talk about, what happened. Gonna wait for a couple people to get on and, we'll get it started. What is going on, Tristan? Just gotta do some things real quick and then we'll get started. What is going on, everybody that is in here so far? If you wanted to talk Sixers basketball, here we go. Going to talk a little bit about the game for about an hour, and then, we'll see what happens then. But Sixers win. I actually do forget the score, but they did beat the Pacers. What was it? 113-107. The team played a little bit. They played a solid game. They had to come back, and they actually had to come back and try to win this game. And obviously without Embiid, it was a little bit harder. Sabonis dominated down low. Dwight Howard looked good. Ben Simmons looked, good passing the ball. We're definitely going to need, our starters to make the three-pointers that they were brought on here to do. Seth Curry and Danny Green definitely struggled a little bit today from making shots. And, the bench unit looked good. Shake Milton, Furkan, Mike Scott looks a lot better than he did last year. But, if you guys got any, comments or anything to say, we can definitely go over it. Just talking Sixers, Pacers post-game live. Probably should have made the announcement a little bit earlier. Didn't really know if I was going live or not, but here we are. So what do you think about Dakota Mathias, Paul Reed, and Vincent Poirier making the roster? I'm sure Paul Reed will probably be brought on as a two-way contract, maybe with the other two. I don't really know. They're not really, the greatest of players. I think that, Terrence Ferguson and even like Isaiah Joe, I think that they deserve a spot probably more than these guys do, as weird as that might sound, but that's how I look at it like that. We would have crushed him if we had him beat because he would have claimed Sabonis. Exactly. Sabonis was dominating us, on the glass and scoring down low in the paint, but what can you do? We still got the win. Dwight Howard, again, he looked good. Offensive rebounds. His defense was a little meh, but it was a win. I'm not gonna really freak out over a win, but it was a win, and that's really all you can ask for. So, if you guys actually do have anybody that would like to talk, Sixers, let them know. Tell them to come here, and we could talk Sixers basketball. The last 5 minutes had to be the longest. Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to the last 5 minutes. When Maxey had the ball, I would, look up, but most of the game it was kind of just, let's go. Like, I want to see the starters. I want to see, our guys make the shots, and sometimes they just weren't doing it. But what is going on, Cowboys digital? Justin Anderson probably isn't going to make this team either. They're just players that, there's only one spot you need to cut. And, obviously you could probably bring on a couple two-way guys. But Justin Anderson, he's not better than Terrence Ferguson. I don't think he has, what the Sixers are looking for as they are in Isaiah Joe. That's what I really think about it. But thoughts on Danny Green and Curry? I think they're good. I think they're gonna, make their way into being a lot better on this team than they are right now. You know, Danny Green's got and Curry, they both have to make down they have to make their shots. That's what they were brought on this team. It wasn't the greatest of games that I've seen either one of them have. Danny Green was a part of a championship winning team with three different teams, and Seth Curry's statistically the greatest 3-point shooter ever, or field goal wise, like percentage. But they got to make their shots. They were wide open on some of them too. What is going on, Barm 5? Yeah, I like Tony Bradley, actually. I think he was a very under the radar signing. Thought he did pretty well. I mean, he was finishing around the rim. He was offensive rebound, defensive rebounding. He was just getting it done. He was doing what big men are supposed to be doing, and can't really, blame the guy for doing his job. But I like what he brought to the table tonight. I like Tyrese Maxey. I think as of right now, if I'm making a trade for, Harden or whatever, I would definitely throw in Matisse over Maxey. Definitely. Because Matisse has shown me nothing on the offensive side of the ball. What has he shot, like twice all year? Maybe once? He's done nothing. I don't know what he's actually doing, but it's kind of concerning. And it doesn't make sense to me at all. I mean, Matisse Thybulle needs to score the basketball. He needs to shoot. He's supposed to be this 3-and-D guy, but right now, I'm keeping Maxey over him all day, personally. What will the Sixers G League roster be like this season? I have no idea, to be honest with you. Probably Isaiah Joe going to be a two-way. Paul Reed's going to be a two-way. You're going to have like that one guy that's good and might make his way up to the NBA roster at some point in time. But, I have no idea. The G League is something that I don't really look at. Shake Milton, obviously, was pretty solid down in the G League. But we just have a bunch of no-names down there at this point. We had Pell. We had Shayok last year. We had Shake for a part of the season last year. But now we have little to no prospects down low. So, I mean, it's whatever. But I'm not going to worry about the Sixers G League roster because this Sixers team, that's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on, Simmons. I'm focused on Embiid's health. I'm focused on the players that are going to make a big difference this year and that need to make a big difference. Would you trade Tobias Harris at the trade deadline? I would trade Tobias Harris right now, to be honest with you. He and Matisse Thybulle have shown me nothing that I have liked so far. And that is being 100% honest with you. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times I yelled at my TV, yelling at Tobias Harris and Matisse Thybulle singly, like just singling them out. I was constantly yelling at Tobias Harris. The inbounds passes were awful. He wasn't shooting. And then when he was shooting, they were terrible shots. He turned the ball over almost every time he touched it, it seemed like. He looked awful out there. And the fact that we paid this guy $180 million, obviously I guess you had to do it because of Jimmy Butler, but there was he looks terrible. He looks awful. And you can't have that on your team. I would trade him for, little to nothing, I guess. I don't know what you would really trade Tobias Harris for, to be honest with you. Obviously you have the James Harden thing, whatever you want to call it right now, the rumors, the fascination, the dream of getting James Harden. Do you throw Tobias in there? I don't know if you really can, because who would want Tobias Harris on their team right now? His contract is terrible. It's not a good contract. But yeah, I would. But I feel like I'm jumping, you know, a little far ahead right now. But I do want to see this team play like meaningful basketball games. I want to see them play at least a month and a half together before I can really, determine what's going to happen with who and, do this and do that. But Sabonis was killing them up high with the pick and roll. How many times were Brogdon and Oladipo wide open because defenders couldn't get? I mean, it was all game. It was all game. Sabonis and those two were just destroying us. You can't really blame them on that. I mean, Joel Embiid was out of the game. Dwight Howard was in foul trouble. Tony Bradley is Tony Bradley. I mean, he's not Joel. He's not Dwight even. But can't really do much about that. And, I guess we got the win. And we did make a good comeback with the starters in. I did actually, I tweeted about that. And I was like, you know what, Ben? Even if you don't make it at this point, just shoot it. Because, people are going to say this and say that about Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons and Carson Wentz, to me, are the exact same in this city. They always get picked on first. They're always the person that gets singled out. They're always the person that gets blamed on for pretty much everything that happens bad with either the Eagles or with the Sixers. I mean, it's always those two. And, obviously I love Ben Simmons and I love Carson Wentz. And, with Jalen Hurts starting now, I mean, it's the right move. You got to start Jalen Hurts for the rest of the year. Let's be real here. But Ben Simmons is not Carson Wentz's level of where they're at in their leagues. Ben Simmons is an all-star. He's a top-tier defensive player. He passes the ball like no other. He is a great basketball player. I mean, he is a tier below superstar, in my opinion. I do believe he is a star in this league. And I truly mean that. I just, they get singled out more than anybody. And I don't think I'm wrong for saying that. Would you trade? Yeah, definitely. Buy. I would pack their bags for them at this point. It's just not going to happen, though. I mean, nobody is dumb enough to take Tobias Harris's contract, especially with the way Matisse Thybulle has also looked. Yeah, he has potential, but where is that potential going? Is it going all towards the defensive side? Because I did see him get a couple steals, and obviously that is what Matisse Thybulle does, is play defense. But again, you need offense too, and you need that 3-and-D guy. And it was supposed to be Matisse Thybulle, but right now, what is it? What is he going to be like? Like, what is he going to be? Is he going to shoot the basketball or is he not? Because he had a couple open shots and he refused to take the shot. It didn't make sense to me. I don't understand it. I don't know why he did it. Didn't do it. I don't know. But yeah, I agree. He's probably untradeable, and especially the way, like, I obviously know it's been 2 preseason games, but the 2 preseason games that he has played so far, he has not looked good. And what do you have? Like, I think he had like maybe 10 points last game, something like that. Like, he was a lot better last game than he was this game. I can definitely tell you that. The 4-for-4 deal at Wendy's is gross, as in good. People thought that that's what I named my channel after, but it's not. I actually named my channel after Anthony Gargano on 97.5 The Fanatic. He always says the 4-for-4 Philly fan. And, I really, I thought that was a good name, 4-for-4 Philly fan. So that's what my name is like after. Do you think Dwight Howard can maybe start in meaningful games in the regular season? I definitely think he will start games just on the fact that Joel Embiid will probably not play all of them. I definitely don't think he will. Even in the shortened season, it's only shortened, 10 games? I definitely think that Dwight Howard should get some starts. But, is it going to be the Al Horford, Joel Embiid thing, just like last year? with, you're going to try out two bigs at one position, because at that point, I don't think Joel Embiid and Dwight Howard can work on the floor together. There's just not enough shooting on the floor when those two are out there. As is when Ben Simmons is out there. If you have those three out there, it would never work. Who do you want the Phillies to sign other than JT Realmuto? Also, who do you think Day? I don't know. I'm not really focused on baseball like right now. I know Tobias, Matisse, and all of them have been frustrating, but don't you think you're overreacting a bit? It's too preseason. Maybe, but they've struggled bad. Tobias wasn't that great last year. Yeah, he averaged 20 points, but I don't know, man. Maybe a little bit on Matisse, but right now I see three players coming off the bench that are better than Matisse Thybulle right now, and that is Shake Milton for sure. Mike Scott has played a lot better than Matisse. I know he's probably not better than him, but he is shooting lights out right now. And Tyrese Maxey has showed me a lot. And, obviously you have Dwight Howard coming off the bench as well, which, Dwight coming off the bench is huge. It's just big. You see how he works with the guard play. What's your take on Melo? I don't know if you're talking about LaMelo Ball or Carmelo Anthony. I know Melo as Carmelo Anthony. That's how I've always said that. But I'll just say both, I guess. I think Carmelo, in the one game that I saw him play, played well. And I think LaMelo Ball is, he's playing pretty solid. He's playing pretty solid, I guess. But, we got to see the regular season. They're playing a bunch of teams that, LaMelo's going to get a lot of run with the second unit, even if he's a starter. Yeah, it's been 2 games. I'm sure he'll get his stuff together. I have no idea who Dave Dombrowski wants, to be honest with you. Shake Milton has been solid the first 2 games, and Mike Scott seems to have refocused. Maybe with Rivers' arrival as coach. Maybe. That was one of the things that Mike Scott did say, that he wanted his second tenure with Rivers to be a lot better than the first time. Tobias and 4 firsts for definitely not. I'm not giving them 4 firsts. No chance. Maybe 1 first just to, take our contract away, but LaMelo Ball is overrated. We'll just have to wait and see. Do you think Hughes can be NBA Finals contender in the future if Ben Simmons can be a decent and consistent 3-point shooter? I don't even think it's the 3-point shooting, that's going to take us over the top. I just think he needs to shoot, because if he shoots, they got to respect it. And, they can't just play back on a guy that's going to willingly shoot the basketball. So they're going to play up. His first step is probably better than everybody in the NBA's, maybe, other than Russell Westbrook and John Wall, maybe at this point in his career. But, if he shoots, I think it's a win for the Sixers, definitely. Seth, Tobias, Matisse for Harden. I don't know. I would have trouble giving up, Seth and Matisse. But, I would do Tobias, Matisse, and maybe 2 firsts for Harden, just because I think Seth Curry's going to, really help Ben Simmons out a lot. Nah, man. I would never trade Embiid for Harden. That would just not work. We would be centerless. Unless if you want to run Dwight Howard for the entire season, it just wouldn't work. And, you're giving up arguably the best big in the league, arguably the best center in the league, because a 31-year-old James Harden. I wouldn't do it. I mean, Embiid is great. He's a great player. He's a superstar player. I think he's top 10. Other people obviously probably think different, but I wouldn't trade Joel for Harden. No chance. There's very little players I would trade Joel Embiid for. Luka Doncic is one of them. I would even have trouble trading Joel for Giannis, if I'm being honest here. Luka might really be one of the only players I would trade Joel Embiid for, just because I think Luka is the future of this league. I think Luka is going to be a stud in this league, as he already is. But I don't know. I would have to look at players. Will the Eagles win this weekend? The football team? Probably not. I mean, the Eagles kind of suck. So, but who knows? Give him anything but Ben. Nah. Joel for Harden. I would give him anything but Ben and Joel. And anything else can go. Anything. It wouldn't matter to me. When Curry was on the Mavs, he did really good on the bench, and especially in the playoffs, but I don't think he's like starter type of player. You might be right. I thought Curry was going to come off the bench anyways, and it just doesn't seem like that, because you got to think, when the bench unit does come in, we have Furkan coming off the bench first. I would like to try to change that. I would definitely, as bad as Matisse has played, I would definitely put Matisse in the starting lineup just for defensive purposes, probably over Curry, because you saw what happened today. I mean, Oladipo and Brogdon were cooking Seth all game. Matisse, that doesn't happen. So I would probably switch that around. Giannis over Embiid any day, in my opinion. I think Giannis is a better player than Embiid, but I just think Embiid for this team in general he's just a better fit. And I think that's just how it would always be. I think Giannis would – I don't know. I don't know how Giannis would play in Philadelphia. I mean, we're pretty tough fans, not going to lie. What's up what is going on, Ryan? Yeah, I agree. I'm not trading Joel or Ben. Here's what I saw. I think what the good thing is that the bench is great depth-wise. If we had a bench of this caliber, we would have won the ring with Jimmy Butler. That's ring-worthy. Yeah, I think this bench is crazy good. I truly do believe that. I think this bench is one of, if not, I think it's definitely one of the best in the league. I think it could definitely get better. I think that there's probably room for improvement, and it's going to take a lot of consistency. I just really believe that it's going to be how consistent can Shake Milton, how consistent can Tyrese Maxey, Tony Bradley, Dwight Howard, maybe if you move Seth to the bench, how consistent can your shooters be? Because that's what's coming off the bench. What is coming off the bench is your shooters and, your guys that can actually facilitate through this offense. And that is Tony Bradley. That is, Dwight Howard. Those are the guys that are going to be coming off the bench. You need those guys to be just consistent. If a bad game here and there, that's okay. But, if Shake can average double figures off the bench, that would be huge. I would definitely want, probably two guys to average double figures on the bench. That would be ideal. But who knows? Who knows what happens? I mean, this is just preseason game 2. We get to see Howell Neto next Wednesday, watch him go off on us. He'll probably not even get any minutes. He is – I don't know what I thought last year about the Sixers. I don't know why I thought they were going to be so good. What is going on? Sports Talk with Let's Go Birds. I got you, my guy with the wrench. Got you, my guy. If you comment now, you'll probably get it. I honestly think we were going to have the best bench this year because of Shake Milton. He's going to win sixth man. I mean, this team, to me, to be honest, I really think that this team has a lot of award potential. And obviously, I know that awards aren't what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the award, I'm looking for the championship. That's all I care about. But it would be, I could definitely see Ben Simmons winning Defensive Player of the Year. I could definitely win Shake. I can definitely see, Shake winning, Most Improved Sixth Man of the Year. I could see Embiid, within the top 3 to 5 of MVP, if not the MVP. I can see a lot of things happening with this team. I can see it. I don't know. This team has a lot of potential to be, to get put up there with the big names. I like the lineup, but Seth was iffy signing for our starters, maybe a 6-man role. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that Seth Curry should probably come off the bench. That's my opinion, because he's definitely struggled in the starting role. Definitely. Yes, sir. Hit that like button. Do you think Milton should have a chance at starter instead of Toby or Seth? I think because of Tobias Harris's contract, I don't think you can possibly put him on the bench just based off the fact that he's just making too much. You just can't put a guy like him on the bench. Seth is definitely a possibility. You would definitely have a better shooting, maneuvering the ball up the floor type of guy in Shake Milton. I don't think he's a better shooter, but I think he can shoot the ball, which is always good. Yes, sir. I know who you are, my guy. Do you think the lack of crowd will make Ben shoot more threes? Seems like it might have annoyed him how nuts people went every time he attempted one. That's a good question. I hope he just shoots it. I'm sure at some point during the season we're gonna get fans back in the stands. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for. But Ben just needs to shoot regardless. Let's be real here. I mean, if the rumors are true, which I don't think they are, but if the rumors are true and they'd be willing to trade Ben Simmons for James Harden, and they don't do it, and Ben Simmons just continues to be the same player, they might have messed up, but I'm banking on Ben Simmons being the Ben Simmons that we know he could be. And that's the guy that's going to make shots. That's the guy that's going to help us, win. That's what I want. What is going on, Benjamin Rodriguez? Anthony says, right, the consistency of this team is the major worry. We went super hot at points and super cold from time to time, and that's when we kept the game close. Seeing Ben shoot definitely was good. Yeah, I mean, it was only one shot, and I definitely think that there was times that he could have shot the ball. Definitely some mid-ranges. I want to see him take mid-ranges. I get it. The 3-ball is the new NBA, and you're going to need a 3-ball eventually in his career. It needs to come within these next 2 years, definitely, if not this year. I would love to see him attempt at least 1 3 a game. Even more, I would like to see him make around 10 to 15 this season, maybe even 20. I want to see him make shots, obviously, but I also want to see him just shoot the shots at this point. Sports Talk with Let's Go Bird says, we ain't too old, we ain't too young. We're not too bad in one area. I think we have guys on this team that can do it all, and we aren't weak anywhere, to be honest. This is what a championship roster looks like. I'm going to say it. I mean, Miami just went to the NBA championship and won 2 games against the Lakers. While two players on their team who are big for them were injured, and Dragic and Adebayo. What did the Miami Heat team have? They had one superstar in Jimmy Butler. That's Joel Embiid. They had one all-star in Bam Adebayo. That's Ben Simmons. And then what? They had major role players. Major role players. And consistent role players. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson. There was a bunch of guys out there that really helped that team. And another thing is they looked like they enjoyed playing with each other. And that's what I saw from game one, and I saw that from game two as well. I mean, every single time, you would see these guys get off the bench. You'd see these guys get hyped for their teammates. And, that's kind of what happened when the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017. You knew that they were a family, and that's what this team needs to be. $52 points between Shake, Maxey, Furkan, and Mike Scott. Insane. Love bench points. We never got that with Brett Brown. Yeah. I mean, Shake Milton, man, he's playing good. He's playing good, and he just needs to be consistent. Same thing with Mike Scott. Needs to be consistent. Seth, as a sixth man, is better because Shake deserves to be the starting point guard. Him or Tyrese Maxey, because they are very good ball handlers. I would keep Maxey on the bench for at least his first season. That's just me, mainly because of the experience point of it all. Shake Milton started last year in the playoffs, and outside of Embiid, he was the only one to really show up in some games. That's how I saw it, and I think that Shake Milton really is a good shooter. I think he can shoot the basketball. I think he was a very good pick, I guess you could say, out of SMU. What do you go, like 44, 45, something like that? He's not a bad player. Shake Milton is Willie Green 2020 version. I think he's better than Willie Green ever was. Willie Green, I don't remember a lot about Willie Green, but just based off the fact that he can dribble the ball, I think Willie Green was more of what? He was more of a spot-up shooter. That's what I remember him as. But here's my only problem. The Pacers were a very top-heavy team. Their stars, Brogdon, Oladipo, Sabonis, together destroyed us. We need to worry about top-heavy teams like the Lakers. I think, to be completely honest with you, I think we match up pretty well against the Lakers. You got Ben Simmons on LeBron, and you got Embiid on Anthony Davis. If you really look at the head-to-head matchups between AD and Embiid, Embiid has owned Anthony Davis in every single matchup that they have played each other in. It just doesn't happen a lot because, the East and the West. But we also, again, we didn't have Embiid today. Embiid takes away a lot of those layups that Victor Oladipo got. He takes away a ton of the rebounds and the offensive rebounds and the second chance scoring that the Pacers and Sabonis got alone. Embiid being out, it definitely hurt. And we still came back and probably would have beat them with our regular starters. Mike says, I think we should trade for Harden if he agrees to a 4-year contract before we trade him. That's the thing. We need to make sure Harden's a Sixer. If he's a 2-year rental, then I don't want him, to be honest with you, because he'd be 33. If we don't win in that time period, we're probably not going to win at all. But at least if you have him for 2 more years, you could try to build around Joel Embiid more so than James Harden. That's how I look at it. And, who knows what we're trading for. I don't know. What is good, Jonah? I don't know, man. I think Shake as a sixth man is dangerous for other teams. I feel like him against a weak bench will do damage, especially if the team is top heavy. Could be. For the time being, Shake should stick to the six-man position. I think Doc Rivers is definitely going to shake up this lineup probably a lot, I would say, but not as much as Brett Brown, where it was consistently on a daily, gamely basis. I think he's going to, I feel like he's more of a practice guy than a in-game guy. I think he's going to, make sure it looks good in practice before he just throws it out there. Seth coming off the bench against weaker teams, imagine that. I mean, look, there's a ton of possibilities, starting and benching it. Just joined in, haven't heard much, but I like what I've seen from Maxey and Mike Scott. They seem to already have been very good. And Shake Milton is already making a very good case for himself. Thoughts? I think Shake Milton is a good player. That's pretty much what we've been talking about probably for what, like the last 5 minutes is the bench. Mike Scott, Maxey, Furkan, uh, Shake. I think that those guys are really going to they need to be consistent. I think that they have been good these first two games, but again, they need to be consistent. That's what it is. Consistency is key with the squad. They're young and they have the potential to be good. And Shake Milton does. I like the kid a lot. This is true. I agree that Seth can do damage as well, but Shake is more well-rounded in terms that he could do absolutely anything Seth can't control. Couldn't control a bench unit with leadership. I do think that Shea could do a little bit more, mainly driving. I don't think Seth can really drive that well, just, kind of like his brother. I mean, his brother doesn't drive a lot. He's a shooter, just a lot better of a shooter and a lot better of a player. But Seth, he's a question mark for me right now, not based off the fact that I don't think he can shoot, because I know he can, but mainly off the fact that is he going to be good with us? Because if he's not, then, well, we just traded Josh Richardson for nothing then. I mean, really. He doesn't have the whole package Shake has. Shake has the potential to be a starter, maybe not yet. It's going to depend on what Doc wants. And he's still young. Young players getting bench experience, getting leadership from the starters helps your rookies improve. Imagine a better version of Shake I think Shea has been knocking on the door of where, you're going to see him be at in his career. If he could be a sixth, seventh man off the bench, that's good. If he could be a starter, that's great. If he could be a sixth man of the year candidate, it's probably the best case scenario. If you have a guy like Shake Milton coming off the bench, shooting, dribbling, controlling the offense, I really think that Shake Milton could be. I mean, it's crazy to even say that Shake Milton, of all guys, is probably going to lead this bench unit and lead, the second unit of guys to hopefully be good. That's what I'm hoping for. Oops. Offense is much more fluid with spacing and pick and rolls. Yeah, and you were missing that with Joel Embiid. Embiid's obviously more of a mid-range guy, and he's not going to be driving as much as Dwight Howard does to the basket. But Dwight Howard catching those alley-oops from Ben and Seth and Shake, I could get used to that. I mean, Seth is a stud at the bench role. He can shoot clutch shots, and especially in big games, him and Dwight Howard will be solid. I agree. I mean, there's really nothing I can't agree with that. That would be great. If Shake Milton can win sixth man of the year, this team is going to go places. If Seth did go on the bench, who would take the starter role? Probably Shake, I would think. My bad, meant to add chemistry, just lost my thoughts for a second. No, you're good, man. Next year, Tyrese has to be the starting point guard. He's already ready by then because he's looking like the best player from the draft so far. I mean, look, it's been 2 games. I'm not going to say Tyrese Maxey's going to be better than LaMelo. I'm not going to say he's going to be better than Wiseman and Anthony Edwards and, the 20 other players that he was picked that were picked over him. I'm not going to say that. I definitely think he's a solid player. That he's a solid player from this draft so far. Think he can be good. Starting point guard, I don't know, just because I don't know what's going to happen. At the deadline, I don't know what's going to happen with Maxey. I mean, could he be on the block? I don't know. Scoring wise, he's from what I've taken from Maxey is that he's just fast. He's a fast guard. And when he controls himself, he can score. And that's what he does. He has been scoring. And how can you complain with a rookie that's going to score the basketball? Can't. I like what I've seen so far from the kid. Seth as a sixth man is more dangerous, and it would help out the offense if the ball was in Shake's hands because Seth doesn't really look comfortable handling the ball. I do think that Seth Curry, playing that spot-up shooter role alongside Ben Simmons, I think that is more ideal in what the Sixers would want to run with those two. I think to start the season, I think definitely within the first month of the season, you'll probably see Seth Curry in the starting five, and then they'll see how it goes from there. I don't know if he could be starting guard yet. I feel like it depends on how Simmons plays and if he could start efficiently shooting. Yeah, and it's also going to depend on where Doc Rivers wants Ben Simmons to play. Does he want him to play at the 4? Does he want him to play at the 3? Does he want him to play at the 1? I don't know. And, we'll definitely see that. Tyrese Maxey's a steal, and there's no doubt about it. Oh, for sure. I definitely think he is a lot better than some of the players picked over him. I've seen him go in the top 14. I've seen him go in the top, 30, which he did. I've seen him go top 20, 15, 10 even. He's definitely a player to definitely keep an eye on from this draft class for sure. Yes, sir. Always be a 4-for-4 Philly fan, man. My guy 4-for-4 is now. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. I mean, one of the real ones. First, one of, what were you? I think you were under 500, my guy. Mike Scott seems to be getting back into his groove considering he struggled a lot last season. Last season, I just think the Sixers struggled a lot. They looked awful out there. They were no fun to watch. Ben and Joel looked like they weren't having fun out there. Horford was god-awful. Richardson was inconsistent. Tobias was inconsistent. But, just this year, just to start these first two games, it just looks like I don't know. I just think that this Sixers team is going to be better than last year's, and I don't think I'm really wrong to say that. Shake Milton would be a starter role. Yeah, that I agree. I was saying like he could win Most Improved and the Sixth Man of the Year award. Sabonis and Dwight got pretty testy with each other. Imagine if Embiid was there, he would have clowned Sabonis. I don't like Sabonis at all. I mean, that guy just he was just annoying all game. And TJ was kind of annoying too. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the refs were brutal for one stretch of the game. Like I think it was like towards the end of the second quarter, they were just brutal, calling everything. It was so annoying. If we do trade Simmons for Harden, would you take the point guard? Who would take the point guard / shooting guard role? I would think it would be Shake, but me and my friends have this conversation all the time about Harden and Ben and trading them for each other. If you're going to trade Ben Simmons for James Harden, you're gonna need to go out and find a point guard. You cannot run with just Shake Milton as the one. I don't think so. And then you're losing bench players. I think you need to go out and go find a point guard, in my opinion. My two more leg starters are point guard Shake, Danny Green, Ben Simmons, Tobias, Joel, six-man Seth, or point guard Shake, Seth, Ben, Tobias, Joel, Maxey as your sixth man. Yeah, I mean, both of them are pretty solid lineups. Would you give up Tobias and 3 future first-round picks for James Harden? Maybe Tobias Harris, Furkan Korkmaz, and 3 futures. To be honest with you, I don't think just Tobias Harris in those 3 picks get James Harden. I think you're going to have to throw in Probably one of the young guys. And I would give up Matisse. I've been saying that. I've said that from the beginning of these trade talks. I would trade Tobias and Matisse and picks for James Harden. I just would. I don't think you would lose as much as people really would think you do. I think Maxey is a better fit for this team already. You gained a young player, and now you're gaining James Harden while giving up Tobias Harris. Your starting five would be Ben, Harden, Danny Green, and who cares? And then Embiid. But once the trade happens, if it does happen, definitely, there's definitely going to be a video about that, no doubt about it. But it just needs to happen. If Mike Scott could get back to his form from 2 years ago, that would help the bench a lot for sure. And I don't know if he had any good games last year, to be honest with you. I know the year that we went with Jimmy Butler and we were playing good, I know that he was a big role in that. And I was a big Mike Scott guy. I was a part of the Mike Scott hive, so to say. And it was fun watching him play good. Would you rather trade Ben Simmons for Harden or Simmons and 2 firsts for Luka? Give me Luka all day. All day long. I'm going to head out for – appreciate you, 215 Dave. Make sure to come back in during the next live stream for sure. Harden showing up fat doesn't help his trade value. Nah, I don't know what James Harden is really doing right now. But, he's still a great player. No doubt about it. Ben for Harden still being considered because 9 points and 8 assists, and only one half as crazy as some of the past. Yeah, I wouldn't trade Ben for Harden. I wouldn't. I never agreed with it, and I still won't. Do you think Seth would benefit from the bench with how he's looked in these 2 games? The last thing I feel we should do is hurt his production by making him a starter. I would probably move him to the bench if his struggles continue, for sure. He's definitely struggled in the first 2 games, especially shooting-wise. But, only time will tell. Doc Rivers is a smart enough guy, and he's a good enough coach to really, what he is. And he's going to be a good coach. He'll make the right decisions. What they would take without Ben in the package is Matisse, Shake, 3 future firsts, and a second, maybe Vincent Poirier, Danny Green for Harden, and Josh Gordon. You would have to give up Tobias just for contract reasons. And, with saying that, I'd give up Matisse. I'd give up those 3 firsts, and I'd give up Tobias. But, if you want Furkan in that deal for some reason, just because, then go ahead. But, it would be hard for me to do the trade while giving up Shake, Tobias, and Matisse, and then two or 3 first-round picks, just based off the fact that you're deteriorating your bench a lot already just by giving up those 2 pieces. So, yeah, man, I got you. My guy. Trading a generational talent in Ben for a fat, hungry hippo, skipping practice for strip club's 31-year-old doesn't make sense whatsoever, especially since Ben is 23 and still has room for improvement. I mean, I just don't understand why anybody would do that. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why I wouldn't do it. If they give Ben, who will play defense, Seth, Tobias, and Harden, you would be struggling on defense, and that's why I think you would need definitely need a defensive point guard. You go out, you get a Patrick Beverly, a Rondo, I don't even know, Alonzo, I guess. But who knows, man? Who knows? Yes, sir. I got you with a wrench, my guy. But overall, I really did. I thought the team played pretty well. I definitely didn't think that they were like bad. I thought they played pretty well. The first game is next Wednesday. As crazy as that is, the first game is Wednesday night against Washington. You're always going to get a good battle with Russell Westbrook and Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and Bradley Beal. So I'm definitely looking forward. But we're going to keep this going for a little bit longer, guys, for sure. It's not like Matisse is bad. He's just invisible on offense. He has been god awful on offense. I mean, it's gotten to the point where he's not even shooting the basketball. So what is the point? So I don't know. But I definitely still want Matisse. I mean, there's no denying that. I still want Matisse Thybulle. But if you got to get rid of him, then I guess you got to get rid of him for James Harden. I mean, let's be real here. If I could get James Harden without giving up Ben Simmons, I'm doing it. Without giving up the entire bench. Also, I do appreciate everybody that has been, very supportive of my channel over the last, I'd like to say, like a month or so. I just hit 1,000 subscribers last month. It's been great. Everybody, that talks during the videos, the comments section, in the live streams, there's definitely going to be a lot more live streams for sure during the season. I got some big things planned for this channel. For those of you that care, we'll get right back to the Sixers in a little bit. Just want to kind of explain myself if you are new to the channel. But I do cover all of the Philadelphia sports teams: Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, and the Union. Just started doing the Union towards the end of the season. I have big things, up and coming for this channel. Make sure to check the community post tomorrow that I'm going to do around, I think, like 3 o'clock. Also, I'm going to be making a video. So also check out that video, because there is going to be directions for a way to win a giveaway for a free shirt jersey. Me and a couple Instagram pages are doing a shirt jersey giveaway on, my channel and their channels on YouTube or on Instagram. So, definitely make sure to come back in and check that out. But I do have some big things planned for this channel for sure. I've been watching this vids for about a month and comment all of them. Yes, sir. And I appreciate you, man. If I don't get back to you on some of them, my fault on that. I try to get back to everybody, as soon as possible. Are they really? That's crazy. I don't know what to think of Boston this year, to be honest with you guys. No problem, my guy, anytime. Do you think Ben looks more aggressive getting to the rim so far this season? Seems like he's slicing through defenders more without caring about getting fouled. I think that goes basically off of, I think he's kind of gained that confidence from the free throw line a little bit more this season. I mean, he's definitely not looking scared anymore. He cut through 4 defenders today on one of the layups, and he wasn't even getting the foul calls that he should have gotten today. He should have been a lot more. He should have gotten a lot more and ones. But that's Ben Simmons for you. He's not going to get every call for some odd reason. But I do think that he has been playing a lot more aggressive, and I like that from Ben. Even seeing that 3-point shot today, even though it didn't fall, it was a lot better, kind of just rising up and shooting it, than he has in the past. And it was from it was an off the dribble shot. I mean, it wasn't just a corner three like it has been. Does Embiid need a contract extension, or does he already have one? He signed one a couple of years ago, but I think this year is like he can reconstructure it into a supermax contract, which I know he is available for. So he's on a contract year, I guess you could say. Ben looking comfortable taking threes. He was going to pull one with no hesitation as well. I looked like he was going to pull another one earlier in the game before he actually did attempt one. He kind of pump faked it, but if Ben can get the defenders to play up on him, it's game over. And also make the shots. Obviously, I don't watch much soccer, but which channel would I watch the Union on? I think like Philly 17 or something like that. That's what it is for me. Sometimes they do play on ESPN as well, though. Not about the Sixers, but who do you prefer for the future, Wentz or Hurts? I'm a Wentz guy. I like Carson Wentz a lot. I think that for the next 3 games, you definitely got to start Jalen Hurts, see what you got with the kid. But then you go into the offseason and you see what you got. And, you see what you can get with for the receivers. Been watching more since the Flyers NHL playoff run, but of course I started watching when you and RB made collabs and stuff. Yes, sir. And me and RB, we still talk. We're still boys. We're still pretty good friends. Obviously with him in school and with me with work, it definitely does get hard. A lot of our collabs came during the beginning of the pandemic, and then, in the summer. I mean, that's when, the peak of Eagles talk was going on, when the peak of our, collabing was going on. But me and RB, we're still close. We definitely try to get, Sixers and Eagles content, collabing to you guys. So, hold on. Sorry about that. Woj Bomb, 6th man of the year incoming for Shake Milton. It would be great. It would be great for this team if Shake Milton could be a 6th man of the year. I mean, in 2001, we won every award, pretty much. Coach of the Year, MVP, 6th man, Defensive Player of the Year, Eastern Conference champions. We just didn't get that. We just didn't get that trophy, man, and it definitely sucks. But this team right now, I think can get a championship. I don't know with this team exactly, but I think with the 2 players that you have in Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, I think you can win a championship with those 2 alone. Obviously, I think that the bench is going to be huge for us this year. I think that Dwight Howard, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Shake, Tyrese, Mike Scott, Furkan, I think that they're going to be big players for us this year. And I'm excited to see it. Again, we play Wednesday, guys. It sucks that we don't have a Christmas Day game this year. I still don't know why we don't have a Christmas Day game. It makes no sense to me. We beat Milwaukee last year. We beat the Knicks the first year that we did it. And then the second year we lost to Boston in overtime. I mean, we have put up pretty entertaining games on Christmas Day, I believe. I just don't know why we don't have one. I mean, I love watching the Sixers and, watching them on Christmas Day the last 2 years, the last 3 years, and actually going to 2 of the 3. I went to the first one in Madison Square Garden. That was awesome. And then I went to the one last year against Milwaukee in the Wells Fargo Center for the first time in since the Iverson era. I mean, it was great. I love the Sixers. I mean, this is my number 1 team in this city. I have season tickets to them. I love them. got them tattooed on me. It's crazy how much I actually do like this team. But I'll probably be on here for another like 5 to 10 minutes. Uh, you know, the Sixers won, guys. I mean, what else is there to say, really? I feel like we covered a lot of the stuff that I wanted to cover in my, originally planned 10-minute video, but then we kind of went on and, I wanted to hop on live and interact with you guys. I'm actually getting a new mic so you guys could call in to the channel. We could do stuff like that. Again, got a lot of big things planned for 444 Philly fan. So definitely. With the Mets signing McCann, do you think we will still be able to? I think we will be able. I think we can re-sign him. I would love to. I hope we do. It's going to depend on Dombrowski. It's actually going to depend on Middleton, obviously, but Dombrowski, I think, brings in more of a better chance of getting him. NFL topic: do you think Carson's failures was on Doug Peterson, the O-line, and the weapons? I think it was a little bit of everything. I think Carson Wentz was just struggling this year with all the hype around Jalen Hurts and, drafting his replacement. Doug Peterson wasn't really the best under him. The O-line was injured all year, and the weapons suck. Jalen Hurts' Madden rating increased by 2 to a 70 overall. I know it's 76 a stream, but that's good for Madden players. Yeah, I mean, I love playing Madden. I played that a lot. I think we screwed ourselves over when we put him through arbitration. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Matt Klentak was a moron. He just was not good. And now we have this guy. I'm just going to leave this here. The Knicks are better. Than who? The Knicks aren't better than anybody. They are the worst team in the NBA. And they still haven't gotten a number 1 overall pick since when? Patrick Ewing? Bad franchise, bad ownership. The Knicks suck. It's that simple. I mean, the Knicks are probably the worst run franchise in sports. I believe so. I truly, I don't know how they have money. I mean, obviously, Madison Square Garden, but the Knicks are trash. The Knicks are better at being worse at everything, bro, including, dude, I don't know what that is. It looks like, I don't even know what that is. Their jerseys aren't even good anymore. They haven't been relevant since Melo. They couldn't suck enough to get Zion. They couldn't suck enough to get Zion and then get Durant and Kyrie like everybody thought they were. Instead, they went across the river and went to Brooklyn. Brooklyn's the king in New York right now. It's not the Knicks. The Knicks are the worst team in sports. The worst team in sports. Let's think about that. Then they still haven't gotten the number 1 overall pick. I mean, I don't know, guys. Knicks definitely aren't better than the Sixers, though. They're not better than the non-playoff teams. They're definitely not better than a playoff team. I think Obi Toppin will actually be pretty solid. Surprised Knicks even have any average players on their team. They really don't. I mean, Julius Randle, they signed, 3 power forwards last year in the offseason? Julius Randle, Taj Gibson, and Bobby Portis, the guy that broke somebody's jaw on his own team. The Porzingis trade explains the Knicks' failures. Yeah, I don't – what they traded for Tim Hardaway Jr.? That was probably the best player they got from that deal. The Knicks, they're terribly run. Hawks are going to make the playoffs, man. I think they will be better than the Magic this year for sure. I think the Hawks will make it too. They'll probably be where the Suns will be in the West. I think like a 7 to 8 or a 7 to 9 seed, anywhere, between that. I I can't see them being higher than 6. I can't see them being lower than 9. Uh, I think Trae Young's a pretty he's a pretty good young player. I mean, he's a good young player, a great young player. They have a solid squad, but so do the Suns. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. I think right now, if I had to choose the order or the teams that are going to make the playoffs from the East, I'd go Milwaukee. I don't even know who would be 2. Brooklyn. Brooklyn would probably be 1. Then Milwaukee. Then you got I would say Boston. Then us. Then Miami. Then Indiana. Atlanta. Maybe I'm forgetting somebody pretty good. Oh, the Raptors are up there. I don't know. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good competitive year in the NBA this year. Hawks are a scary team with a trio of Capella, Young, and Bogdan. Yeah, and they got Collins too. John Collins, Rondo went there. They got DeAndre Hunter. They got Cam Reddish. Got a solid squad. Herter. Got a solid squad. Definitely, looking at that. Nets, Bucks, Heat, Sixers, Raptors, Celtics, top 6. Yeah, that's probably the top 6, and then you can go anywhere between, Pacers probably 7, and then Hawks probably 8. That's what I would think. And then you got the Hornets probably around like that 10 spot, 10 spot to like 11. You have the Knicks in dead last at 15. Probably have the Pistons at 14, second to last. Cleveland's probably going to be down there. I'm just trying to go through the list of teams. You got a lot of good teams in the Atlantic Division. Sixers, Celtics, Nets, and Raptors all make the playoffs. Same thing with the Central. You got the Bulls are probably not making the playoffs, but then you have Indiana, you have Milwaukee. Who am I missing from that division? Milwaukee, Cleveland, Indiana, Detroit. Yeah, they're not that good of a. They're not that good. Kind of overrated them. If that is top, dude, the Hawks might not make the playoffs. The Wizards are going to be good. The Wizards are a top 17. They're going to be better than Indiana. Indiana's making the playoffs. They'll be 8. The East is pretty good this year. The Wizards are going to be a good squad. They're going to be solid. I don't know if the Hawks make the playoffs this year, mainly because of, experience in the NBA. I think Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal are going to be a solid duo. Then you got Thomas Bryant and Bertans, and got a couple other teams too. But yeah, I would have the Wizards in my top 8 for sure, and then I'd go Indiana. So I would go. I think in that order, I would go Nets, Bucks, Heat, Sixers, Raptors, Celtics, Wizards. Wizards in Indiana, right? That's the top 8. Top 6 in that order: 76ers, Nets, Heat, Raptors, Celtics, Hawks. I would like it if the 6. I mean, you can't forget the Bucks. The Bucks are definitely going to be in that top 2, if not 1. Thing about the Wizards is that Westbrook just cares about his stats, and he is not a good team player. I'm a Westbrook guy. I like Westbrook. I like Durant. I like Harden. I like the OKC guys. I did like that OKC team when the Sixers were just god awful. But I like Westbrook. I'm definitely I definitely root for him when the Sixers are out. I root for Durant. I root for Harden, as crazy as that might seem to some people. The Wizards going to start this year 0-1 because the Sixers play them the first game. Yes, sir. I think we get the win. I think we win. I think the money line, or I think the point spread, for those of you that bet out there, I think it's like a +6.5 spread or a -6.5 spread for the Sixers. So the Sixers are favored in that game. I think -6.5. I could be wrong, but I actually think that they cover. For those of you that bet, I would definitely take the money line on that. We're in the Wells Fargo Center. If that means anything, I guess you can say that they're sleeping in their own beds. Obviously, with no fans, it's going to be anybody's game. But yeah, for sure. Westbrook still gets you into the playoffs. Westbrook is a better, he's a better duo for Bradley Beal than John Wall is. I think so. And I think Westbrook's a lot better of a player. It's going to be a good game, not going to lie. Oh, for sure it's going to be a good game. It's probably going to go down, closer to the wire than I would like, but that's what happens when you get Westbrook on your team and you already have Bradley Beal. Yes, sir. That'd be great, man. I forgot about the Bucks. The top 8 is Sixers, Heat, Bucks, Nets, Pacers, Celtics, Raptors, Hawks. So you don't have the Wizards making the playoffs, but you have the Pacers 5. If I had to go order, I would go Nets, Bucks, Heat, Sixers, probably Boston, Raptors, Pacers, Wizards. So yeah, that's what I would think. That's what I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Nets, Bucks, Heat, Sixers, Celtics, Raptors, Pacers, Wizards. And I think the Hawks get bounced. And I think, it goes down to the wire. But I do think that they are over 500 this year. I think that they are a solid squad this year, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Miami takes a step back this year. I think the furthest up we could go is definitely the 3 seed. I don't know if we're better than Brooklyn, and I don't know if we're better than Milwaukee just yet. I think we can beat those teams, but I don't know if we'll have a better regular season record than those teams. What about the Bulls? I have the Bulls probably at 11. I don't think that they make it. I think they're a little bit I just don't think they're good enough. I don't even know who your coach is, to be honest. I don't think that Levine and Markkanen duo is enough to get them into the stacked Eastern Conference that they're playing in this year. I just don't think so. I mean, you have the Hawks that are still going to be – the Hawks are going to be better than the Bulls this year, and they're going to probably not make the play. I wouldn't think that they make the playoffs. Bulls not – yeah, I don't think so either. The Sixers always seem to be fighting for the Pacers for seeding. Yeah, I mean, hopefully not. Did the Sixers Mike Hunt? I don't even know who Mike Hunt is, to be honest with you. Billy Donovan, yeah, all right. He's a solid coach. I just don't know if they have enough power in the East to really win this season. They got solid players. I like Levine. I like Markkanen, but just don't know. Cavs are going to be the number 1 pick. It wouldn't surprise me at this point. It seems like they're always the number 1 pick. I actually think Detroit's going to get that, though. To be honest with you, I think Detroit gets the number 1 pick. East stacked this year. So many teams to make the playoffs. 76ers, Nets, Bulls, Hawks, Pacers, Celtics, Pistons. A lot more that are in my playoff. Pistons aren't going to make it. Nah, they're just not good. I don't think the Hawks. I don't think the Bulls. I don't know. I mean, they could definitely, but I don't think. I think the Pistons are probably going to be the number one pick this year. That's what I think. Would you be okay with this? No, I wouldn't. James Harden is not. I would never trade Ben Simmons for James Harden. I wouldn't. Not straight up. And you'd probably have to give up picks. And I'm just not doing it. Peace, my guy. Thanks for joining the stream. Always a pleasure. I think I'm going to give this stream about 4 more minutes. Hit 1:20 on the clock for the time, and then I'm going to hop on out of here. And, I think I have something planned on Monday with another content creator, a Philly sports content creator. He's a TikToker. So I just got to see what's going on with work. And then, I'll definitely be putting it in the community post. So definitely make sure to be checking those posts when I do post them, because I'm going to try to keep them pretty important based. See you on the next one, my guy. What's your Insta, bro? I got you with a follow. Mine is 444 Philly fan _ YT for YouTube. Twitter is 444 fan, and TikTok is 444 Philly fan _ YouTube. I don't really post on that, but it's just I'm going to start. I'm just waiting for the new year, and I'm gonna get a bunch of more accounts, for this. 2021 is gonna be crazy, guys. I'm telling you. So it's gonna be crazy. I can't wait. Can't wait to share what I have to put out. Appreciate you, my guy. I'll hit you back with a follow. And yes, sir, everybody hit that like button to end the stream off. Everyone's looking forward to 2021 for sure, man. 2020 just needs to be over. I need to get back into those stadiums. That's what I'm looking forward to. I just want to get back. Obviously I want to do it, in a safe way. But, I miss going to those stadiums for sure. And I need to get back in them. Phillies, I missed that during the summer. Obviously the Sixers, I missed that. I did actually end up going to one of the games at the Link this year. I did see the Eagles-Cowboys game. It was freezing. Definitely not worth it. I saw 3 or 4 Union games, and, obviously the Flyers as well. I'm excited to see them play. Bucks going to the finals. I don't think so. I don't think the Bucks ever get to the finals with just Giannis and Middleton. I just don't think they're good enough. Let's hope 2020 is going to be a good year. Yes, sir. I hope so, man. Definitely hope so. But I know for sure that, no matter what happens, I know for sure that this channel is going to be where it's at 2021. I got big things planned. A lot of, equipment coming in. Probably moving the studio. Probably, into a different room in my house. It's going to be lit. It's going to be crazy, guys. I'm excited. But I think with that being said, we hit an hour and 20 minutes. I think I'm going to get off now. We talked a lot of good Sixers. Appreciate everybody for popping out. I'm going to try to do it probably not after game 1, but definitely after game 2, I'm going to probably do a post-game reaction for the Sixers on my live. I'm going to be posting it a lot earlier, though, so you guys know that I'm going to be going live. This was just kind of out of the blue, but, I do appreciate everybody that hopped into the stream, that stayed with me the whole hour and 20 minutes. Appreciate you, Cowboys Digital. Always stay consistent, always grind, you know it. But, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. What about after the Eagles? If I'm home, yes. Take it easy. Good work. Appreciate you, my guy. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Appreciate you. But it's time to end. So thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I am out. See you guys on the next video. Peace.